welcome to the April 2024 HBOT Club meeting. So the agenda is, well, I was misled. It's not, Alan isn't talking necessarily about bird apps, he's talking about a particular bird app. So Alan will be doing Bird of the Evening first up. Then Dick will be talking on the birds of Costa Rica. Then we'll go through the usual activities, announcements, and finish with observation.
Well, it's a very long time since I've done a Bird of the Evening, and in fact I'm not going to do one. But on a recent trip, it was actually to Costa Rica, which Dick's going to talk about from a different trip. I was introduced to an app that I thought was pretty impressive, and I want to tell you a bit about it, and so that you're aware. I've never encountered it before. So we're doing birding app of the evening. There's a screenshot from my phone, and there's the app there. It's called the Merlin Bird ID app, and I'd never heard of it until when I was in Costa Rica early Feb. But I started to use it pretty extensively, and I'll tell you why. So a little bit about it. So it's developed by the Cornell people, the same ones that bring you eBird and Handbook of the Birds of the World and all those sort of things. It's free to download and use the app. You've just got to go to the app shop and get it. And what you also do is download a pack for each country or region that you're in. Okay, so I downloaded the Costa Rican one, and that means that it works offline, so you don't need to be online to be able to get it into use. But the downside, or the corollary, is that the packs for each country are really big, so up to about 2 gigabytes. So it's a lot of stuff on your phone. But you see, when I show you some of the other slides, all the things that it can do, it is quite big. So of course, what you then do is then when you finish that country, because it's all free, you just delete it and go on to the next one. So when you open up the app, this is the screen that you first see, and there's so you see various screens, and the first one I'm going to talk about is the one that's called Sound ID. So you turn that on, and it basically starts listening. And you hold your phone up, and it's listening. Okay, Sound ID, and what you see coming up on your phone are these sort of things. So, oops, that's okay. So you get a list of the birds that the app has picked up that we're calling, and it actually highlights in a different colour the one that's most recently called. So you see when I started using this at whatever it was, 8:26, and I'd only just started. There was a lesser variety of calling, which is a kind of hummingbird. It's like a junk bird really, in Costa Rica. And a bit later on, 5 minutes later, the app was picking up that there was a hooded warbler and a lesser variety calling at the same time. The beauty about all this is it's recognising birds. I'll talk a little bit about the recognition thing in a minute, but it also highlights the one that's most recently been called. And so when you're actually in a country that you're not familiar with the birds, this is just fantastic because you're listening yourself, the app's going, it's saying that's a lesser violet here, and then you start focusing on where that sort of bird's calling from, and then eventually you can track it down. And it works, it's brilliant. There's a disclaimer here that says it can only identify some birds and in the region, and the results may be incomplete and may be inaccurate, all that's true. But what I found, sometimes you'd hold it up, there'd be a bird calling and it wouldn't actually tell you anything, and I think it's erring on the side of, not giving you a false positive. But it was just, in Costa Rica, it was just identifying birds left, right and centre, and I was able to then go and track it down and actually find them and see them, because you knew which one that you wanted to focus on, and you're not familiar with anything. It was just fantastic. The next feature is what's called the step-by-step ID. I only used this a couple of times, but the basic idea is it comes up with a bunch of screens saying things like how big was the bird, what colour was it, what was it doing, those sort of things. And then based on where it knows that where you are, etc., it throws up what it reckons your bird is. Now, this is actually, I never actually saw a green breasted mango. I was just mucking around to get something on the screen that I can show you. But that's what it does. It actually gives you, based on the likely birds in that area at that time of the year, all sort of stuff. We'll see some of that in another slide. You can actually pin down what it is, or gives you a couple of other options as well. It really is helpful when you're out there birding by yourself. The next one, photo ID. So what you can actually do with this is you get a photo that you've taken from wherever you got it. You load it up onto your phone so that it's dominating the screen, and then it tells you what it is based on what it's seen. Absolutely really great. And then there's another function down here called Explore, and when you open this, it actually runs down the list, and you can just keep scrolling down and down and down through it, of the most likely birds based on where you are and the time of year that you are. So you can see here on this particular place, it's saying a black vulture, and it's not so easy to see, I know from back there, but these timelines have got like probabilities, so some of them it's like 100%, and you get to others, like down here, Wilson's Warbler, at certain times of the year, it's not going to be around. Other times it's highly probable that it is. So when you've seen a bird and you're trying to work out what it is, it actually gives you a lot of suggestions as to the ones that it could be to start thinking about more. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, everyone.